Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I thought I would give you a little makeup tutorial today, see how we get on with that. I've got my tea towel to go on my lap so I don't get everything everywhere. I've moisturised and primed, so we're ready to go. And at the same time I'm going to be talking about various things, continuing with my 41 things you may or may not have wanted to know about me tag from Heavy Metal Mama. Thanks, Lolly. And we're going to put some foundation on. So today I am using my, here it is, Primark double coverage matte foundation, which, as you may know, is a dupe for the Estee Lauder double wear. I'm using my lovely Poundland sponge, which I enjoy very much, and we'll get chatting, shall we? The first question that Heavy Metal Mama answered was blue cheese question mark. Now, myself and Mr. Jane have been vegan for coming on, well, 20 years. And back then it was very difficult to get vegan food, as you can imagine. But as I always say to people, there's only two things we don't eat: animals and animal products. So everything else there is in the world, every piece of fruit, every vegetable, every seed, everything that's produced by a plant, we can eat. So there's always tons and tons. It's just processed food, which is no good for you, as you know, that we don't really eat. Blue cheese, never really liked it, so there's the end of blue cheese. The other questions are little yes no's. Do you like, do you not like Coke or Pepsi? No. Morning drinks, coffee. Coffee so thick you can stand a spoon in it. Coffee so dark people's souls can fall into it. Love my coffee first thing in the morning. After lunch, fruit tea. Fruit tea, herbal tea, not green tea, not so much. But yogi teas are very good. Anything that's sort of vanilla-y or fruity or sweet in the way of fruit teas, I will drink gallons of it. And the great thing about it is it counts as water, and I really can't drink water, not that much. I know you're supposed to, but it's not something I ever did. I certainly wouldn't buy water, because we're lucky enough in this country, here in England, to have wonderful clean tap water that you can just drink without worrying about it. So why people spend money on buying water, especially still water, I'll never know. Occasionally, if I go out, I'll have sparkling water, push the boat out, but why would you buy still water when it comes out the tap for nothing? But that's just me being old-fashioned. Right, so we have here some lovely Revolution Beauty Ultimate Concealer. It's quite new, and I used to wear their other concealer. My most favourite concealer is my KVD Vegan Beauty Concealer, but that's so expensive I just saved that for special occasions. Here we go. And moving right along, I've got these questions written down, as you can imagine. There isn't a question, because I think this came from America, about do you own a gun? Sadly not. In these times, there are people, in my opinion, who would need taking out, but let's not go there, shall we? Can I do 100 push-ups or press-ups? No, I can't. My upper body strength is lacking, but I will be improving on that any day now. I'm going to start doing some exercises to improve my upper body strength. So watch this space for that. And of course with press-ups, you don't have to start from a plank, doing the whole really push your whole body up thing. You can do them against a wall, you can do them using a chair or a sofa or a step or a bench if you're lucky enough to be somewhere where you're allowed outside, to a park maybe. So press-ups don't have to be incredibly difficult. Right, so next step is powder, and I am going to just put a little bit on here. This is a mixture of different powders because I've found that some translucent powders are too translucent, some baking powders aren't pale enough, and this way I can mix different powders, get the colour I want, and there we go. I would use a brush at this stage, but I've left it on the other side of the room. Gotta love the spring. Days are longer, the light is beautiful, especially in the morning. Evenings start to get longer. Trees are bursting with life. Flowers are pushing up from under the ground. We can see primroses in the hedgerows. As you can imagine, I've just forgotten yet another thing. But here I have my very old Freedom Pro Strobe palette, but it's a bit of a light and shade dupe. And the great thing about this is you can use all three different shades here for different things. I use the darkest shade for contouring here and here. Of course, doing this on camera is when I'm bound to make a dreadful mess of the whole thing, but I think you get the general gist of it. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, I was talking about spring. Oh, I love spring. Bluebells will be coming out towards April time. We've got primroses, we've had the snowdrops. The woods will be full of wild garlic plants just coming up, and then their perfume will be, well, their smell will be filling the woods. And daisies are now everywhere on the grass. Just something about daisies, I really like them. The light, the blueness of the sky is different. Everything about spring is marvellous. And of course it means that you can go running without having to worry about freezing rain, hail, mud so much. Well, obviously there will be mud. And spring and autumn, I think, are my favourite times of the year. Autumn, again, the light changes. You get those really high blue autumn mornings in September that I absolutely love. And there's nothing like it. Nothing like it. Now, I am going to use a blush because it is quite dark, and I use it as not so much a blush, but part of my contour. And this is called One for Playing Games by Revolution, of course. The thing about Revolution is that their stuff is affordable. It's well priced. It has gone up in recent years, but they do keep coming out with new things, and pretty much everything they do is good. I would say. There's a lot of things I don't need from them, bronzers, say, for example. But one thing I do need is highlight. And this one is in ice. It's a Supreme in ice, and I like to use all three colours just to get a bit there, a bit here. You can see it's pretty good, and a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit up here. See my little spider in my hair grip there, a little bit there. There we go. So that's that. These brushes, by the way, I should have mentioned the brushes before. This is just a Amazon brush. It's called Studio 5 of London. Got it on Amazon, reasonably affordable. Can't remember how much it was. This nice blush brush, this is a Lottie London brush, and this was only £2 in the sale, so did very well there. And this nice chisel-y one comes with the Freedom palette, so that's good. Now what's next? The next thing I do is I have to move to my magnifying mirror. I always do my waterline first. I know a lot of people do theirs last, but I do mine first. And I'm going to do blue today to match the blue sky outside. This is a KVD. Came in a set of 3, a blue one, a pink one and an orange one. I did think orange one, nah, not for me. So I did give that one to one of the young ladies where I work, and she has used it. It looks very good on her because she's more of a medium skin tone than me. And the thing with orange is I am fond of it. I'm going to use some in a moment, but I just don't think I could get away with it in my waterline. Anywho, here we have the lovely, oh, let's make sure it doesn't catch the light too much, Me, Myself and Mama Mitchell palette from Beauty Bay, which made me miss her, made me buy. It's a beautiful thing. It comes with a big mirror which comes out, so I'll take that out, and you can see there's the colours there. Aren't they lovely? Yes, they are. So what we're going to do is I'm going to move some of this stuff out the way so I can get access to the palette a little bit more easily, and I'll be right back. And through the magic of video, I'm back. So what were we talking about? Oh yeah, the seasons. Winter, I am fond of winter. It's the start of winter marathon training, and you may or may not know that I'm very keen on running. I'm going to do a video where I talk about my running story and what it's meant to me and all the different events, well, not all of them because we'd be here for hours, but some of the different events that I've done and how running can really help with mental health. Actually, it sounds a little bit counterintuitive unless you've had experience of it, but exercise in any form is good for your mental health. Anyway, so winter time, because we live quite close to the seafront, we enjoy all the storms. The sea in winter is a thing to behold. It's such a powerful force. It's something that, unless you've been close to the sea in the middle of a storm, you really can't describe it to people. It's just so huge and vast and powerful, and you can imagine, well, I can imagine those poor sailors back in the day when there was no radio, no way of calling for help. If they were in a storm and they were caught on the seas, well, as we know, our coastline here is littered with wrecks. It's a rough thing, and anyone who goes to sea for a job has my admiration, I can tell you. Anyway, I'm in the Mitchell palette. I'm using the black, which is called Mafia, and I'm just laying down a corner, starting along the lower lash line, making a little bit into the sort of brow shape. As you can see, I have no brows. I did lose them when I had my chemotherapy in 2017 when I had breast cancer, and I was so not pleased, what's the word? I was relieved when I had no eyebrows, because it meant that and I'm using my tea towel to wipe off my brush here, it meant I could do different colours of eyebrows, different shapes of eyebrows whenever I like. I'm using my Zoeva blending brush to blend this out, and I bought myself a set of vegan Zoeva brushes when I was off for 2017. I started to watch makeup videos. I started to think, well, I've got to up my game a bit here. I've got lots of time sitting around getting over chemotherapy, which is not that much fun, I will tell you. So I spent a lot of time watching people like Soph, used to be called Soph Does Nails. I watched Dramatic Mac, lovely Aisling from Ireland, one of my favourites. I didn't really know that there were goth makeups on YouTube at the time, because I hadn't really had much experience of watching YouTube, but I watched a lot of makeup girls and decided that I really ought to try and make what I do a little bit better, because it was just basically throw it on. I mean, it was my own style, it was huge, there was loads of it, masses of just, but no sort of blending or no sort of, I suppose you'd say, finesse. Anyway, where were we talking about? Oh yeah, winter. So winter is the start of marathon training, and in this part of the world, everybody runs. It's just one of those things, especially on a Sunday, you cannot go out the door without seeing runners everywhere, which is lovely. I know some parts of the world it's dangerous, people get abused verbally, sometimes physically, and it's just, what the hell is wrong with people? People are idiots. Running is good for your mental health, obviously good for your physical health. Why would you abuse people that are doing it unless you are just an idiot? But as you know, there are a lot of idiots out there, but let's not start me on idiots of the world, because again, that's a topic I could talk for hours and hours and hours on. Anywho, so I was using the colour Mist there, and what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to be very brave and go into the colour Mental and just put a little bit of it here, just to give the contrast with the blue. And the lovely thing about these Mitchell colours is that they do blend into each other. So you've got this orangey mental colour blending into the Mist bright blue colour, and it gives you almost like a purpley edge where it blends. So I don't know if you can see that on camera, but there we go. It does give you that sort of lovely blend. There we go. Yeah, so it gives you a change between the blue and the orange, which almost looks purple, so that's nice. I like that. Anyway, that's that. So I'm not going mad because I've got to start work at 9 o'clock and I don't want to miss that. Yeah, here it is. I have my Revolution Pro big blank canvas crayon. Yeah, crayon. I think I'll call it a crayon. Crayon, stick, one of those. And the thing about this is I am wiping it on my tea towel, as I say. You can just get a hair in your eye. There we go. We were talking about spring and autumn and how wonderful they are. Summer. Summer is just a bit of a pain to me. I find it really quite warm and I find summer really quite warm. I find summer quite difficult because a lot of the time you're stuck indoors in an office or you can't get somewhere where there's lots of nice shade. I like the summer in as much as I like it to get outside and enjoy the fresh air, but what I don't like is when it's like searing hot and you can't get anywhere away from the heat. I just like it to be gently warm. You can wear a few things, not too much. Nice cardigan maybe. Sandals. I found some goth sandals last year, so that was pretty exciting. Yeah, you can wear so much more interesting outfits in the summer because you don't have to worry about keeping warm, but that's the best thing about the summer, I think. Now, one of the other, I'm just doing an inner corner highlight here with some of the Mitchell shimmery shades. This one is a little bit pink, I think, for this look, so I'm going to go over it with this more bluish one. Oh yeah, that's better. There we go. So going back to the interesting, or not quite so interesting things that I was talking about. Favourite hobby? Well, how many hobbies? Running, of course. Makeup, of course. Crafting. Some of you might have seen my crafting videos on my channel. I really enjoy making jewellery. I really enjoy upcycling things, making things into different things, because I'm not really an artist. I'm not really good at art as such. I can't draw anything that looks like what it should be. I can't paint very well, but I very much enjoy making things. I've taken to doing inspirational quotes on pebbles and varnish them and put them in the garden. One of my friends has an allotment and I made her some pebbles with the names of the plants, vegetables that she's going to be growing in her allotment, so she can put them where she puts the seeds in and not have to worry about seed markers. So there's quite a lot of things that I like to make and do. Obviously we'll talk about running another day. Making clothes. I wish I could make clothes properly. Oh boy. That was something I was just so rubbish at school, was needlework. Back then, in the 70s, only girls did needlework. Boys did, there we go. Boys did metalwork and woodwork, and girls did needlework, and I was just rubbish at it. Absolutely rubbish. The first year we did it, we were supposed to make a little tennis skirt that we would wear for tennis in the summer term. No, I think it ended up as being dusters for my mum, and I made her buy me a pair of shorts to play tennis in, but there were different times. So what I can do, just about, is alter things. So if I was to get a skirt in a charity shop that I really like the material for, I could take it in, or what else have I done? Bought t-shirts and made them smaller, done that thing where you turn t-shirts into different types of shirts by doing slits on them and then like braiding the slits. Who is it that does that? I think it could be Riri Phillips. I could be wrong. It could be her that shows you how to do it on YouTube. She was the one that showed me how to make graveyard boots. And if you look at my video on making goth shoes, she inspired that. I painted some very cheap boots that I got and painted them with her little way of making a graveyard scene around the edge of the boots, and then took that idea and used indelible ink with a very fine nib around the edge of my Converse dupes. So there's all sorts of things you can do on a budget without spending fortunes on clothes. And I know a lot of people like Killstar. Who doesn't? I've had some reasonably poor experiences with them and their customer service in the past, but the clothes are nice. And the other thing about them is that they can give you ideas for clothes that you might want to make or put together yourself. So it's Killstar. What can you do? Brands are expensive. When I was a punk in the 70s, there weren't any brands. So, you know, I'm used to a bit of DIY. Here what I'm doing is I'm using my eyebrow felt tip liner, which is a Miss Sporty Studio because it's 1,000 years old, and I'm just looking straight ahead and going across where my hood falls. So I'm just doing a tiny wing using the pen itself, and then if you look you can see there's a big gap which I just join straight down that way, and then when I open my eye again you can't see it, join it straight down, and when I open my eye again you can't see it there either. I'm just gonna quickly re-put a little bit more black on the corners because I think it needs a little bit of deepening there. There we go, that's a bit better. A little bit more there, that's a bit better. I'll just quickly turn the mirror over. There we go. So there, I like to bring it up there. I'm going to use my blending brush again just to blend this above my eyebrow, which is what I like to do, make it a little bit more unusual, and then take it down that way. I can then clean it on my tea towel, I can then use my shimmer to brighten that bit up there, and then brighten that bit up there. And as you can see, these Kat Von D crayons last for ages and ages. They're very good. So I'm looking at the orange, I'm looking at the blue, I'm thinking what next? And what next, of course, is lashes. I'm just going to use my Essence Lash Princess, which I absolutely swear by, and I don't know if you can see, but the wand is slightly curved, and I think it's not just the wand, it's obviously the formula as well, but the slightly curved brush makes a lot of difference. So just put a little bit of mascara on the top lashes, concentrate on the bottom lashes, because what we're going to do there is put some lashes, some false lashes on the top, so it doesn't really matter as long as you've got something for the false lashes to grab onto. So concentrate on really piling it onto the bottom lashes. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, hobbies. And I think reading is a hobby, or is it just something you do? I suppose it's a hobby. I read a lot. I used to collect books absolutely maniacally until I realised that we wouldn't have anywhere to sleep or sit or do anything else with the number of books that I was collecting. And a few years ago now, I had an eye operation where I had the lenses in my eyes, the actual, not contact lenses, the lenses that grow in your eye. I had those removed and replaced with artificial lenses, which means that I now don't have to wear glasses anymore. I used to wear glasses all the time. I used to wear prescription sunglasses, glasses for seeing further than a couple of feet, just couldn't do anything without them. And then when I started running about 10 years ago, I realised that having bad eyes when you're a runner is not a good thing, because when it rains you can't see. Your glasses get covered in rain, you can't see, you look over them if you're running along, and of course you can't see. In the summer you're wearing your prescription sunglasses, you run into a dark woodland, take them off, you can't see. So I had this operation, obviously not on the National Health. I had to pay for it over quite a large number of years, but it's changed my life. I can wear any sunglasses I want. I can go running in the rain. The first time I did that without glasses, I can't tell you how happy I was. So yeah, reading. So the only thing with these lenses is that they're not terrific in low light, and if you're sitting in bed at night reading with just a bedside light or something like that, not very good. So my husband said to me, get a Kindle, and I was like, oh no, don't. I'm an old school person, don't want a Kindle, don't want to be doing with that modern anti-book rubbish. And he said, I'll buy you one. If you don't like it, fair enough, but just give it a try. So he bought me a Kindle Paperwhite, and oh my God, I haven't read so much in years. I absolutely adore it. The only bad thing about it is that you get to the end of a book and it says to you, would you like to see the next book in the series in the shop? And you go, yes, I'll buy that. But, you know, buying books is not exactly a bad thing. So I have read so many books. A lot, as you can see behind me, are still hard copy. I've given a lot away. I've given a lot to charity. I've given a whole bunch of my serial killer documentary books away, because once you've read the story, you basically know. That's another hobby of mine. Used to be a hobby of mine, making files on and finding out about serial killers, mainly American ones, but British ones as well. David Tennant apparently is about to do a series for ITV on Dennis Nielsen, the London-based killer for company, as he was called. He looks just like him in the makeup, I have to say. What I'm doing here, by the way, is I'm putting my duo glue on my lashes, just very thinly, and I'm going to leave them for a couple of minutes. And what I usually do here is I use that time to do my lipstick. So this, I love this lipstick. This is by LA Splash. I don't know if you can see it, but it's called Creature in the LA Splash Classic Horror series. And there's a picture of a green woman reaching out from underwater. So she's sort of like the lady creature from the Black Lagoon. If you don't know what the creature from the Black Lagoon is, have a Google. He was exciting. He was one of the Universal monsters: Creature from the Black Lagoon, Dracula, Wolfman, Frankenstein's monster, Invisible Man, all those things. So I'm going to put purple on today to go with the purple that's created where the blue and the black and the orange have come together. It's quite a colourful look today, but as you know, I'm not afraid of colour. I will do a traditional black and white trad goth face for you at some stage, I promise. There you go. And I just can't get over these liquid lipsticks. I used to spend my life peeling lipstick off my teeth, using gallons of that stuff that comes in a little bottle that you pay, lip coat, that's it. I used to go through bottles and bottles of that when I just used ordinary twist up lipsticks. But liquid lipsticks, what an invention. Tremendous, love them. My favourite is my black Jeffree Star Weirdo lipstick. Always out of stock. But if you want a black lipstick, that's the one to get. You can get it on Beauty Bay. Not cheap, but worth it. Well, that's the other thing. This, talking about Beauty Bay, this Mama Mitchell palette was on sale when I got it. It was under £30. I think it was 26, possibly, something like that. Anyway, got my lashes here. They will have gone a little bit tacky, so bear with as I put them on. There we go, get them started, squidge them in. If you are slightly older, you may have eyelids that helpfully fold over and grab your lashes for you. There we go. So that's that one. Put the other one on. Yeah, so reading, I'm going to do a whole video about books and recommendations and things you might like to try, series of books, characters, the sorts of authors I like. If that would be interesting to you, let me know in the comments down below if you would like something about books and what you'd like to know, novels or documentary type books, whatever you prefer. So another tip I can give you about false lashes is if you get one of these felt tip eyeliners, and you can just go along the edge of it and just push the lashes slightly further in, and it does make a little bit of a difference. It also speeds up how quickly the time takes to get rid of the white glue. I know you can get black lash glue, but I just haven't got any. Right, so that's that. I'll just double check. I mean, I really like this purple lipstick. I mean, it's not the greatest combination with these colours, but I think it makes a nice contrast. What I might do seeing as I can hear you going, oh, orange, blue and purple, I might put a little bit of purple in the centre there, just to give it a tiny reference point. I know you shouldn't put shadow on after you've done your lashes, so sue me. There we go. So there, purple, orange and blue, my colours for the day. I really hope you've enjoyed this Get Ready With Me. It has taken a little bit of time, but good things come to those who wait. And please let me know if you'd like another one or some more or some different styles, what you'd like to see. Oh, that was my timer going off. To tell me that I've been talking way too long. And what I'm going to do is sign off now. I'm going to ask you to let me know what you'd like to see in future videos, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and if you can share it, maybe mention it to some other old people that you know, they might like to watch it too. So thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.